packed day coming in there. Harsh, take us through what are the headlines, global headlines that made news overnight?
Well, yes, let's start off with Saudi National Bank. Days after the share slump of the troubled lender Credit Suisse, the Saudi National Bank Chairman Amr al-Khudairi resigned from his post. Do remember, his resignation comes a day after he said in an interview that Saudi National Bank is absolutely not open to further investments in Credit Suisse when asked if they are open for additional liquidity. Saudi National Bank is the largest shareholder of the Swiss lender.
And Federal Reserve Vice Chairman Michael Barr says that the SVB collapse was largely due to the mismanagement, added that the bank waited too long to address the problems. The overdue actions it finally took to strengthen its balance sheet sparked the uninsured depositor run that led them to eventually fail. Alongside reassures Congress on the US banking system being sound and resilient.
Well, switching over to Israel, because that's in focus, in the latest, Prime Minister Netanyahu has announced that the controversial decision to overhaul the country's judiciary will be delayed. This after months of protests, growing labor strikes and opposition within his own government. The delay means that the bill will not be put to a vote in Parliament until the end of April at the very earliest. Entertainment giant Disney will begin layoffs this week. This will be the first of 3 rounds before the beginning of the summer that will result in as many as 7,000 employees being laid off. The company said last month that it plans to cut $5.5 billion in costs, including $3 billion in content spend.
And Bank of England Governor Andrew Baily sees a steep decline in inflation, says it has peaked in the UK, even as he flags that the path of inflation will not be smooth. Amid the ongoing banking turmoil, assures that the UK's banking system remains resilient to such shocks.
Well, and President Joe Biden addressed the nation in a news conference discussing the deadly shooting at a Nashville grade school that left 3 children and 3 adults dead. Biden said they are monitoring the situation very closely and have to do more to stop gun violence. He also mentions how it's ripping the communities apart.
And Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway boosted its ownership stake in Occidental Petroleum to about 23.6% after buying nearly 3.7 million additional shares for about $216 million. Now, do remember, Buffett's company began buying large quantities of Occidental stock over 1 year ago, around when the Russians invaded the Ukraine, and has spent more than $1 billion this month.